Hello everybody. Today we'll study chapter 12. Chapter 12, the title is Proposals and White Papers. Now this is the last chapter in this course. Okay, so this chapter covers proposal, and proposals are divided into unsolicited proposal, solicited proposal, grant proposal, and white paper. Unsolicited proposal is basically the recipient has not requested you the proposal, but you are rather making some type of a marketing proposal. Solicited proposal is basically request, we call RFP, request for proposal. Basically, other party request the proposal, so you are responding to their request. Grant proposals are normally written by schools or non-profit organizations to receive the government grant or city grant. And white papers basically will be more company informative documents we'll cover later. Okay, so since there are total 4 different types of writing involved in, we're going to actually watch 4 different YouTube video which correspond with different title. So let's general basic guideline is always plan well before you write, and basically make your text visually appealing and edit carefully. That's very general guideline of writing proposal. When we actually write a proposal, the proposal can be in-house proposal, basically with an internal memo or internal proposal, or it could be sales proposal or grant proposal. Okay, so let's first go with unsolicited proposal. Like I said, the unsolicited proposal is nobody really requests you the proposal, but you are making proposal and sending to the recipient. And we always follow ABC format, which is abstract, introduction, B, body, and conclusion. Now in unsolicited proposal, in the introduction abstract, we write purpose of the proposal and needs that exist in current situation and how needs can be met. Then basically main advantage of your solution and overview of proposal sections to follow. In the body part of unsolicited proposal, you include description of problem or project and its significances, and proposed solution or approach, personnel, schedule, and cost. And in the body portion, basically it emphasizes main benefit or feature of your proposal, restate your interest in doing work with the recipient, and indicate what should happen next, and encourage your reader to contact you with the questions. Okay, so let's watch one video in the title of Unsolicited Proposal. That's our first one. As you can see, the title is basically, go back to small screen, Unsolicited Proposal, and let's watch that together.
A 360 show where we talk about all things small business and government contracts. Today we are talking about unsolicited proposals. What are they and how can you use them to market your business to the federal government? So I got this question in an email, so I'm going to read you the question and then answer it. Ready? Hi, Sean. I'm a contractor based in Miami, Florida. You've spoken with my sister, Kathy, who lives in the Atlanta area. I would like to know what agencies are more likely to allow unsolicited proposals. I have new equipment returning from Afghanistan that the U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Border, and U.S. Army and Navy customarily uses. I would appreciate your insight. I would appreciate any insight you might have. This is a very unusual approach. I'm accustomed to speaking to contracting officers and contracting specialists, but not from this angle. Thank you for your time, Julius B. Okay, Julius, this is a fantastic question, and thank you so much for asking it. So first, let's talk about what an unsolicited proposal is, and then Julius, I'll answer how you can actually approach a department or an agency with an unsolicited proposal. So an unsolicited proposal sounds exactly like the name. It is a proposal that is submitted to the federal government without a RFP or an RFI. An RFI is a request for information. RFP is request for a proposal. So that means that the government is not actively looking for the product or service, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be interested in buying it. Okay, so you see that an unsolicited proposal means that you are positioning an opportunity for the government, meaning that you're saying, hey, look at this product, or hey, look at this service, right? So here's the deal, Julius. Unsolicited proposals are definitely accepted, and they are accepted under the FAR guidelines. So I have written a very specific post, just for you, Julius, on unsolicited proposals. And in the post, I talk specifically about what things you can do to actually help get going, creating your unsolicited proposal, and who to talk to. So you talked about you normally speak with the small business specialist, so you know about that. You also speak with the contracting officers or the buyers. Well, here's another contact to add to your government contracting network. Ready? Unsolicited proposal coordinator. That's right. There's someone within a department or agency where their sole job or their primary responsibility is to manage the unsolicited proposals. And here's the thing. The government is totally interested in unsolicited proposals, and here's why. If you bring to them an idea, or I should say bring to them a product or service that will help them reach their mission in a much more effective way, because maybe they don't even know that this product or service exists, they're totally open to that. So you just have to make sure that you follow the guidelines that are listed in FAR related to unsolicited proposals, as well as be sure to reach out to the unsolicited proposal coordinator within the department that buys the product or service that you sell. So Julius, don't forget to head over to www.hb360.com and look for the post.
Okay, I thought that was rather interesting video, because it explains basically what is unsolicited proposal. And basically video talk about how to make unsolicited proposal to the government. Even though government is not looking for the proposal, you can actually still make a proposal, and if that proposal is attractive to the government, they will actually approve the proposal. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic. Our next topic will be solicited proposal. Now, solicited proposal, we also call that request for proposal. It's response to request for proposal. So there are some government or website or some company asking to make a proposal. Let's say for even the construction project, if it's government construction project or even the private construction project, they are asking contractors to make a proposal. Give us the proposal, how much you can make a bid. And if you're a contractor, you will make solicited proposal. Now, solicited proposal will include title page, letter or memo of transmitter. You will have executive summary and appendix. Now, it looks a little more formal than unsolicited proposal, because it is formal paper that you are formally responding to request for proposal. So when we take a look at, again, ABC format, abstract introduction, you want to state purpose of your proposal, reader's main need, main features you offer, as well as related benefits, and overview of proposal sections to follow. Then in the body section, you want to put summary of current situation, background information and data, technical information, management information, cost information, and appendices for more detailed numbers and data and graphics. And in the conclusion, you want to include benefits of accepting proposal, unique qualification of proposing organization. Okay, so let's watch one more video, YouTube video. This video, as you can see, request for proposal, RFP. So let's watch it together.
What if you received a request for proposal that very clearly defines what the prospect wants, using words taken directly from your competitor's website? Should you shortcut your sales process and mobilize your team to submit a proposal, or set up a meeting to qualify the opportunity? Why qualify? Because customers tell us that in 80 to 90% of cases, RFPs are used to benchmark the pricing and performance of existing suppliers, who end up getting the order in any case. When you meet them, you could uncover new needs and develop their decision criteria around your strengths. That way, when the time comes to present your proposal, you'll catch the competitor by surprise, because their solution no longer matches the new needs you've created. So responding to an RFP is not as cut and dry as you might think. It should be the starting point to engage with the prospect and implement your sales process. Is this always possible? No. Sometimes the buying process has just gone too far before you were invited, and sometimes the organization's rules just don't allow it. That's why you should qualify your real chances of winning instead of wasting your time.
Okay, there was rather a very short video and explaining what RFP means. Again, RFP means is request for proposal. And normally when the government actually posts the RFP, it will have very specific description, what information you need to contain in the proposal. And normally, let's say city have some construction project, and they have RFP, then you have to basically follow their guideline. Then once you submit your proposal, then they will go through some type of hearing, discussions before make any formal decision. Okay, let's move on to grant proposal. Grant proposal is basically you are trying to get some government grant, and they again have certain guideline that government is asking, minimum requirement, information. Then you have to read their request and respond to get approved on their grant. So in the grant proposal, basically in the introduction, you will again put a statement of need, mission of your organization, explanation of how the proposed program will meet the goals of granting organizations. And in the body section, you will put background information about your organization, detailed explanation of situation, such as data or supporting research. Then you will also put objective to be used to evaluate success of proposed program. Then in the body, you will also put importance of proposal to the community, because that's government program, and how result will be shared, how basically you will use government grant, and you will also have to put some budgets, how you will use the money. And in conclusion, basically, summary of community needs to be met, how community needs fit the organization's goal, and main reason why your organization is best suited to meet community need. Okay, more than what I can say, I think it's best that we watch another video. Now this one, as you can see, the title is Government Proposal Writing, which is basically grant proposal. And it has basically different objectives, and let's watch it
You
together.
the objectives for today's training. To understand what a proposal is and what it isn't, to understand how to read an RFP, to understand how to use that RFP to create a proposal content plan, and then to understand how to fill out that content plan and develop a complete proposal. So today is basically an introduction on how to go from having an RFP in your hands to having a compliant proposal to turn in. So this slide is an extreme oversimplification of the government procurement process. Basically, it starts with the government having an idea or a need, and then they capture this need in an RFP, which is a request for proposals. You'll get the RFP from a variety of sources, such as fedbizops.com. Then you'll craft the proposal. Then you hopefully get awarded the contract and you begin the work. Parts of the RFP are actually going to become the basis for your proposal. And then parts of the proposal and the RFP are going to become part of the eventual contract. The proposal is your input into the process. Now, in more sophisticated procurement efforts, there are other opportunities to provide your input to the government. This is called capture. But once the RFP is out, you really can't communicate with the government in any other method besides submitting your proposal. So that's our topic for today. The thread through all of this is the documentation. The RFP puts into writing the requirements, the proposal puts into writing your approach to meeting those requirements, and then the contract is the agreement between you and your end user customer on how you're going to deliver. So I kind of want to start out with what a proposal is not. There are some common misconceptions about what a proposal is and what it isn't. Being a proposal specialist, I know my point of view is a bit skewed, but I think it's pretty much impossible to underestimate how important proposals are to your company if you want to do work with the government. So a proposal is not a technical report. Think about the difference between a commercial for a new refrigerator and the manual that comes with it. You don't necessarily care what kind of refrigerator gas it uses as long as it keeps your food cold. So it's not a technical report telling you all the little details. You are selling with your proposal. A proposal is not an academic study. You don't need to do research on industry trends or cite articles to validate your claims. You do have to substantiate your own claims, but you're going to do that from your company's point of view. A proposal is not just paperwork. Unfortunately, many companies view proposals as an administrative task or just paperwork that has to get done. In reality, a proposal is the last thing standing between you and your customer's money. Proposals are becoming increasingly competitive and sophisticated, and you don't want to be the one company that didn't take it seriously and didn't put adequate resources behind it. And finally, despite what you might think, a good proposal is not about you or your company. It should be written from the customer's perspective and focus on all the things that are important to your customer. For example, it's pretty unlikely that the customer cares what year your company was founded or what industry your CEO came from, unless you can demonstrate the value and the benefit to the customer. And that's a refrain that I will echo throughout this presentation, is that you really have to demonstrate the value and the benefit to your customer at every turn in writing your proposal. So now that we know what a proposal is not, how can we define it? So first of all, and I would say above everything else, your proposal is a marketing document. You have to remember that its purpose is to sell your company's product, solution, or people to a customer. It's not a technical report, so you're allowed to make it flashy. It can have color, it can have fancy graphics. Just make sure you have a purpose behind what you're doing. Clip art is not going to cut it. But a flow chart about your automated recruitment system might catch an evaluator's eye if they've got trouble with turnover. So you have to think about what your customer needs and how you can respond to that in your attractive marketing document. A proposal needs to respond to the needs of the customer. It isn't about your company so much as it is about how you can help the customer with what they need. Their RFP will typically tell you what they need or what they think they need, but your proposal will be stronger if you can respond to needs that you know they have that are not in the RFP. So the stated needs are in the performance work statement, and then the unstated needs are things that you know about your customer, maybe budget constraints they've been having or problems with turnover. If you can respond to those, you can outstrip your competition a little bit. It's also important to remember that your company can typically be held legally to any language that you put into your proposal. Now, you don't want to use wishy-washy language just because you're scared of what you might be held to, but then again, you don't want to make promises that you can't keep. A great proposal is going to anticipate and mitigate the risks to both the company and to the customer. So all sections of an RFP are important. At least one person in your company needs to read the RFP in its entirety. Preferably everybody involved in the process should read the whole thing. But an RFP can run 80 to 100 pages and longer, so you need to be able to prioritize. If you are leading the writing of a proposal, you should be focusing on sections C, L, and M. Now, not every agency follows the proposal format of having sections A through M, but most do. And all RFPs are going to have these major sections: the statement of work, the instructions to offers, and the evaluation criteria. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order here by how they shape your proposal, but I'm going to go through these sections and tell them why they're important. So we'll start with section L because it provides the architecture for your proposal. Section L is going to tell you how to organize your proposal for your sections, what to write about, and how to format your response. It's absolutely essential that you adhere to all requirements in section L. If they want it double-sided on legal-sized paper in purple binders with only one sentence per page, then that's what you have to do. Your proposal can be thrown out for being non-compliant to the RFP. They don't have to throw it out, but if they've received 500 responses to an RFP, evaluators are going to be looking for simple ways to narrow down the playing field. So your proposal is going to mirror the instructions in section L. Talk a little bit more about that. As much as you can, you want to match your numbering system to the headings that are numbered in section L. The single best thing that you can do to increase your chances of winning a bid is to make your proposal easy to navigate. You need to make it easy for evaluators to find what they are looking for. Keep in mind that they have scoring sheets and evaluation criteria, checklists, and the first thing that they're going to look for are the parts of your proposal that line up with what they're looking for. Generally, proposals are not read. Evaluators don't start at the beginning and go all the way to the end. They are looking for the things that allow them to check boxes on their list. They are not read, they are evaluated. So you can see in the graphic here that this might be the way the table of contents in the RFP is organized, and then that's how that translates over into your proposal, making it very easy for them to find what they're looking for. Okay, section M is the evaluation criteria. Proposal evaluation can come in many forms. Some RFPs have numerical scoring systems, others have color systems, and still others use adjectival ratings, such as good, excellent, poor.
Okay, this video is actually quite long, and I don't think we will watch whole video. If you are interested actually making government proposal, grant proposal, you should actually go into internet and search some of these YouTube or some of the instruction, which will get you some introductory information, and you probably can find some samples or templates. Okay, so basically we got some general idea what RFP is. That's a request for proposal, and request for proposal is posted by the government or whoever wants to receive a proposal. And when you are actually writing a proposal, especially grant proposal, you have to follow their specific guideline, and you have to basically, they will have very detailed what information they need, your qualification, your budget, your plan, and all that, and you need to answer all that in your proposal. Okay, now I'm going to move on to actually the last proposal type, which is white paper. Now, white paper sounds blank paper, but it is not blank paper. In your textbook, basically, page 413, it defines white paper as document designed to educate industry customers or to help readers solve problems, usually not longer than 15 pages. White papers are objective in tone, but persuasive in purpose, and created to build customer trust and loyalty. In style format, they usually resemble articles in trade journals or academic paper. So, normally the textbook said the white paper originally referred to informative document published by government agency about public policy. However, nowadays, more and more white papers are basically published by businesses or corporations. Okay, so let's see. So to write white paper, you need to know your audience, and you need to include problems and solutions in the title, and use analogies and metaphors to explain your concept, and try to use a lot of graphic elements to provide information, and cite sources correctly. In the abstract, you want to actually put a definition of the problem, why you are writing it. In the body, you want to put historical and background overview to set stage for new technology, and evidence or data or information from published sources, and criteria for solution and solution. And in the body, continuously brief mention of product or service that you're offering. In the conclusion, you write review of the problem, benefit of this your solution that you are suggesting, and bibliography. Other you want to cite if some documents where you got those information. Okay, so white paper. Let's watch one more YouTube video. Last one. Now this one, it says how to write a persuasive white paper. That's the title of this YouTube video. And
how to write a persuasive marketing white paper. A white paper is meant to educate and persuade. It provides answers and demonstrates that you are the one they need. Here's how to be convincing. You will need research, an abstract, an informal tone, appropriate detail, case studies, clarity, impact, and a conclusion. Step 1. Research the company you approach and understand the features of the product you are recommending, the audience you are addressing, and the outcomes you can project based on reliable data. White papers can be used to sell a product, solve a problem, or both. Step 2. Define the subject in an abstract at the beginning, identifying it as a technology briefing, planning, implementation or application guide, case study, and so on. Let them know in brief whether this concerns business implications, strategy, industry trend overviews, or issue analyses. Step 3. Adopt an informal tone, but try to avoid acronyms and abbreviations. Show a solid grasp of the impact of their problems and the depth of the technology that they will find immediately useful. Step 4. Strike a balance by being detailed enough to spell out the problem succinctly in 2 to 3 paragraphs. Build the solution without burdening people with the technical detail that downplays or obfuscates the genuine benefits. Educate and inform without using geek speak, which may alienate some who only want things spelled out simply. Step 5. Provide case studies of implementations in the real world that found beneficial and measurable results. To establish credibility, make sure they pertain to the situation and possibilities for the client you are approaching. Step 6. Revise for clarity, conciseness, and impact. Show respect for the customer's time and needs. Step 7. Conclude the white paper with a summary, restating why the product or your solution to a problem is the wisest choice. Did you know? J. Conrad Levinson is credited with being the father of the unconventional style of marketing known as guerrilla marketing.
Okay, that was a rather short video, but it gave us idea what white paper is about. Okay, I thank you to everybody that who participate in this course, and hopefully this is rather beginning an introduction to technical writing. And then again, having knowledge is not enough, but you just have to need to practice. And when you practice, if you need any help, always actually Google it or go into YouTube. There are some video or some article with, it is there. You can find it, and that will help you to enhance your skill. And even in the future, when you're working for the corporation, always have a habit of doing research. Nowadays, with the web search, we can get a lot of information within a second, and you might as well use that. And since you are living in the world of information age. Okay, thank you so much.